5:36, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 89.7 WTN. Cringe alert, just so you know.
Wait, she's back?
Cringe
Not
alert.
cringe. Oh.
Not cringe Jean-Pierre.
Oh, gotcha.
But definitely the
Cringy.
Democrats and their cringe.
Yeah.
So wait till you hear this. It is coming up. So just very quickly yesterday, because people are asking me on
About your house.
the socials about my house.
Yeah.
So, number one, most days I go straight home after a quick trip to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I decided to lollygag.
Oh,
It was the
lollygag.
wrong day to lollygag, man. Amy calls me and she says, where are you? Right.
Oh, you just almost
just
gave
like-
her away for her language.
So honey, I'm coming home. It's water is leaking from the top floor down into the basement.
No.
Yeah. So if you
No.
look at my Facebook page, Dan Mandis Show, we took a picture and you've got the insulation, the pink insulation is dropping down and water is just like everywhere.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I, of course, am not home for all of this because I'm lollygagging. And I never lollygag. I'm not a lollygagger.
Yeah.
But you know what? I lollygagged on the wrong day. So not only am I, hearing my wife's incredibly irritated call, where are you? But also I had water in my basement. So, and as folks know, that's where my studio is.
Yeah.
So my studio, thankfully, seems to be okay because that's where I'm going to be broadcasting from tomorrow. But I mean, now we've got the big fans in there and we're trying to dry the whole thing out. It
What
was
caused
awful.
it? Do you know?
So there is a hose on the back of the washing machine and it, I guess, goes into like a hole that leads to the outside or something. I don't really know, to be honest. It goes into the plumbing somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
But somehow it flipped out.
Oh.
And it was leaking all over the utility room. And then, of course, the utility room is right above, the basement.
Yeah.
And so it just, our paneling and all that, it is so gross. It is so gross. And that's why I got to work this morning.
All right. I mean, I'm going to ask you questions here. Like, did you call your insurance company?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And luckily or unluckily, I don't know, but it doesn't meet our deductible. So it's going to cost us about $2,000 to get it all fixed, get it all dried out, and just do whatever we can to clean it up. So
Did
no.
you have to call a recovery team? Like that kind of a thing?
We did.
Okay.
We did. We called recovery team. So they came over and they've got their big fans. They're drying the thing out. They're drying the basement out. It's really loud and obnoxious.
Yeah.
And my couch. The funny thing is, I worked all weekend long. So my daughter was coming to stay with us for a couple of days. I had worked all Sunday cleaning up the dog hair and just cleaning up the basement. I mean, you could have eaten dinner off of that floor. And now it's just a complete and utter mess. So anyway, whatever. So that's what happened. Things happen. Stuff happens. And I'm blessed that I didn't have 5 feet of water in the house. And
Yeah.
so that's what I'm focused on, is the good part, which is the fact that Amy did forgive me for lollygagging and we were able to get the basement tried out.
Well, why is that your fault, though, for lollygagging? Just, you didn't know.
No, I didn't know, but just
Listen, go with it.
All right.
She was upset. She's blaming him.
so have you noticed, Joan,
Yeah.
that young Jeff is so naive when it comes to things like marriage?
Yeah.
Sometimes, Jeff, as Joan said, you've just got to go with it. If you're a man and you've got an upset wife, 2 words could save your marriage.
I'm
Yes,
sorry.
dear. Oh, I was going to say yes, dear, but also
So 4 words.
yes, dear, and I'm sorry. And that's what you got to do sometimes. And it's fine. It's just kind of funny that was the one day that I was lollygagging. Now, you ready for some cringe?
Oh, yeah.
This is really bad. So the Democrats, we talked about, I don't know if anybody showed up to that Not My President rally yesterday at the state capitol. I haven't seen any really news on it.
Oh.
But in Washington, D.C., they were out in force and stuck in the 60s as they are. They've got some songs.
Forward, keep on moving forward. Never turning back. Never turning back.
It's pretty bad, but wait.
Wow.
Trump is not a king.
Trump is not a king.
Trump is not a king.
Can I ask a question? Because I wasn't around during the 60s. He's getting really into it now, by the way.
Never turning back.
So, in the 60s, was it this bad? Like, I don't know. I wasn't alive. I mean, I was alive during the 60s. I was born in 67. But this is not, I wasn't politically, whatever. So,
I just think
did they do this in the 60s? Really bad songs that are completely cringy?
I don't think in the 60s that there was as much like derangement thing happening. So it was more purposeful. And do you remember the Flower Children? I mean, it was always something beautiful. They always had a guitar. They were
singing around campfires.
Yeah.
They also had one of the greatest public speakers in our modern history. MLK.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You mean it's not like this?
No, I'm
the
pretty
Musk
sure.
regime. Did you hear that? The Musk regime. Oh my God.
Jeez, dear Lord.
Us the Musk regime.
wow.
Yeah, you know what? There's a certain cringe about it, clearly, and KGB is right in the sense that, and you're right too, Joan, is that the 60s. That is obviously looking back. I mean, that was a very good cause, a noble cause, a right cause. This is just derangement. Wait, did you hear? He's really getting into it now. Let me rewind that.
Send them all to Mars.
Send them all to Mars.
Is that what he's saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Send them off to Mars.
All to Mars, as in all MAGA to Mars. Which, I mean...
You know what? We'd spend our budget better.
Yeah, right? We would.
Anyway, whatever. So it goes on and on.
Wow.
They're just trying
pretty bad.
so hard to be oppressed, aren't they?
Well, they are, and here's the thing, is that, and this has been a conversation going on the last couple of weeks, is that, and by the way, we ought to do, we'll do when, during the 835, the crisscross.
The crisscross.
We should get all of the songs that we can find and ask folks, what is the cringiest? Is it, Never Turning Back? Or is it, Whose Side Are You On? There was that one. I don't know if there's been others that are out there, but this is what they're doing. They're kind of stuck in the 60s. And you know what the thing is? And again, the 60s far different than where we are today, where today, literally, we're talking about efficient government. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about making sure, just like as I said in the first segment in the 5 o'clock hour, where you've got, people accusing Donald Trump of cutting medical research for children when actually what he's going after is administrative costs and indirect costs for the hospitals and the facilities. But the bottom line is that they're taking this story of Doge and they're trying to make it into some sort of a civil rights era kind of a thing. And it's not. It is literally about saving taxpayer money and bringing attention to the crazy spending that our government has been doing. And I don't understand why they look at that and they try to say that is some sort of a Musk regime, or that we're never going back and all these other kinds of things. It just doesn't make any sense.
Trump is not a king.
Trump is not a king.
Yeah. So somebody on the super text line 6862 said, they were all on LSD in the 60s, but isn't it crazy like how that feels kind of nostalgic right now? The LSD hippies feels a little nostalgic compared to this deranged.
You have to be on
bunch of
LSD to
people.
like this.
Stop the fascism now.
What did it say? Stop the fascism now?
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
I would rather take LSD than listen to that again.
So for people not watching the super text line, I just looked right at KGB and turned it back up.
Yeah.
I think we're done though.
If that is like the equivalent of a middle finger, I don't know what else is.
So yeah, the problem is that they're not answering the questions. They're not answering the questions about, in my 6 o'clock hour, we're going to talk about more of the discovery. We brought this story to you yesterday and sort of in its infancy where they have found rampant fraud and abuse within Social Security. And so we got off the air yesterday. And again, that story was just percolating. We now have a lot more information, which I'm going to get into that. But they're not answering the questions. They're not answering, okay, so what do you say about the fraud in Social Security? What do you say about all of the crazy spending on propaganda across the world? I mean, these are legitimate questions that Mr., we are not going back or moving forward, whatever it is. Trump is not a king. Okay, can you put down the bullhorn and tell me what you think about this? Can you tell me what you think about this kind of crazy spending, and do you want that to continue? They don't sing about that. They just sing about, this nonsense about Trump is not a king and all these other kinds of things. So, and by the way, clearly Donald Trump is not a king. You know what the answer to that is? Hey, you jackhole. Donald Trump won both the electoral vote and the popular vote.
Jackhole.
Jackhole.
Do I hit the dump button for that or
no?
No, I think that one's okay.
That's okay, Joan?
Yeah.
Joan is, of course, the officially designated by the host, the mom of the show.
Yeah. Well, she's got the FCC words probably hung up somewhere, so we make sure we're good.
I need to get my FCC words hung back up here. I got in trouble the other day. Moving right along.
You did?
Drama.
When I was not here?
I don't remember what you said.
I didn't. It was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't say one of the 7 dirty words.
Okay.
I did not say one of the 7 dirty words.
Did you dance around one of the 7 dirty words?
There may have been a bit of a dance around one of the 7 dirty words. But it's a word that I hear all the time in talk radio. It just so happened the wrong person was listening at the time. So, and I get it.
That's the problem.
So
it's
I'm
the
moving
wrong
on.
person. It's not you. It's
That's
the wrong
exactly
person.
right.
Gotcha.
It's exactly right. So they need to, all the people of authority need to stop listening. Listen to this real quick. MSNBC actually compared Elon Musk and Doge to Biden's failed pullout of Afghanistan. Listen to this.
I keep going back to this does remind me of the federal government version of the Afghanistan drawdown. Everyone agreed it was pretty much a bipartisan consensus. We needed to get out of Afghanistan. The way we went about doing it was horrible. We could have done it in a better way.
That is a woman named Elise Jordan. Now, I don't know where she's going with this. Do you? Do you understand where she's going with this? Where it's we wanted to get out of Afghanistan, but we did it the wrong way. And then 13 members of our military were dead. And I mean, all the other things that happened after that. But to compare that to what Elon Musk is doing, it just doesn't make any sense.
Right now, we agree that there's waste in the federal government and that everyone would like to cut the deficit and cut spending. The way they're going about it, it makes no sense.
How does it not make sense? How does it not make sense? I mean, they're literally going through the code. They're using artificial intelligence to go through the code and to figure out where the waste, fraud, and abuse is. That's the way that you do it. What doesn't make any sense? What are we at? $36 trillion now? Is that where we are? The debt clock is at $36 trillion now? That doesn't make any sense.
They want it to not make sense.
That's exactly right.
They need to be more strategic about what they're cutting and where, and have some success, have some early success to show.
They've had, what the hell is this woman talking about? They've had success.
The problem
they've saved hundreds of billions of dollars already.
Right.
See, Dan, you're missing the point. They don't want it to be successful. They're trying their hardest to make this become an absolute failure because Orange Man bad.
Well, and here's the thing, is that this is all a difference of opinions, right? That's what this is. This is a difference of opinions, because I will say that, I mean, it depends on who you ask. Some will say there's hundreds of billions of dollars worth of savings that they found. Others will say it's 60 billion. Others will say it's 30 billion. But to say that they have not found fraud,
that's insane.
That is insanity.
Yeah. Show that the mission can continue before you just decimate and hollow out critical areas like nuclear security.
So yeah, and I will say, we'll talk about that nuclear security thing in the 6 o'clock hour. So anyway, the bottom line is this is MSNBC. So they've got their own perspective. And of course, we've got our perspective. But to me, they have seen success. They have found success. And so for them to say that there has not been early successes, I think that is obviously incredibly biased. But you know what? MSNBC, this is what they do, and they're going to continue to do it. Wait till you hear, coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, wait till you hear the rest of the story with Elon Musk and all that they found related to Social Security. That and a whole lot more straight ahead. 5:52.